It's tragic and it shakes the foundation of the system.
We're learning new information about a cult-like group linked to crimes across the country, including murders in 3 states. The story tonight.
First of all, going to grant the no contact order. That'll be in effect for at least 2 years.
Plus, a school employee in Lewiston charged with sexual battery of a minor faces a judge today. The accusations and the district's response.
Snow is back in the forecast, but it likely transitions into rain. We'll talk why.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News and the Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We kick things off tonight with weather, as tomorrow is shaping up to be a slushy mess with the potential for another round of snow. We're going to go right to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy DeGoo because this one is a bit tricky. Jeremy?
Ooh, this is one of the hardest forecasts I've had to do in quite a while, and it all comes down to temperatures. We sit at 34 degrees right now, which is something worth watching because 34 with the dew point in the 20s would mean I think snow would be likely if it started right now. But our snow is coming in out of the southwest, which plays a big role in how quickly we warm up. Where it's falling early in the day, we have a wintry mix and freezing rain potential. Where it falls in the mountains, it's a potential for 3 to 6 inches of snow above 3,500 feet. But as we time it out, you can see it moves in. It starts as snow early tomorrow morning in parts of central Washington. It moves in for us. I think 9-10 a.m. it starts hitting. It comes down as snow at first, but as we move through the day, it transitions into rain, and it's all rain by the afternoon. And then as we move from Wednesday into Thursday, we start drying out and most of the activity stays to the south. So we're going to call it snow transitioning into rain, and I think a ½ an inch is about the extent of it before it does so. And then we're talking temps on the rise.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. New tonight, a person arrested in Maryland is suspected of being a leader of a cult-like group connected to crimes all across the country. One of those murders was the shooting of a Vermont Border Patrol agent, and a Seattle woman is accused of pulling the trigger. Sebastian Robertson has more tonight.
The leader of a cult-like group is behind bars in Maryland, and now authorities are connecting the dots between crimes, including murders in 3 states. Newly obtained documents by King 5 from the Maryland judiciary reveal that a person named Jack Lasoda and 2 other people were arrested for trespassing. All 3 suspects were identified by the FBI, and all 3 were wanted for questioning regarding killings in other states. Lasoda has been named in the investigations in Pennsylvania and California.
It's tragic and it shakes the foundation of the system.
The same crimes as Maximilian Snyder, a former student who attended the private Lakeside School in North Seattle, where Youngblood also went to high school. Records show Snyder and Youngblood applied for marriage licenses in King County. According to NBC News, Lasoda, the person arrested in Maryland, is said to be the leader of a cult-like group called the Zizians, a group that, according to online writings, are described as smart tech vegans, many of them transgender women.
Authorities believe the people in this group can be linked to the killing of an elderly landlord in California and a couple in Pennsylvania. More information is expected to be revealed as this case heads to trial in the coming months. In other news, a school employee from Lewiston is accused of sexual battery of a minor. She faced a Nez Perce County judge for the first time today. Mary Strong was a classified staff member at Tamami High School. She's accused of having an inappropriate sexual relationship with a 16 or 17-year-old student on Snapchat. Investigators say Strong sent explicit videos and pictures to the student. Then court records show Strong and the student engaged in sexually explicit acts on the school campus. A photo of that incident prompted the initial investigation, which was later reported to authorities. The judge set her bond at $100,000.
First of all, going to grant the no contact order. That'll be in effect for at least 2 years. In addition, you will stay 300 feet away from that person. You will also not go within the address listed on the no contact order.
It did inform KREM 2 they sent out additional support staff today to Tamami High School to address any concerns to give clarity on the situation. The mass layoffs of federal employees that happened Friday left 3,400 Forest Service workers nationwide unemployed. The Trump administration says the layoffs are in an effort to cut costs and create government efficiency. Those who were fired say they were already short-staffed, pinching pennies, but dedicated. One person we spoke with said he was sent a form letter. His job was gone, it said, because of poor performance.
My employment is no longer the interest of the people, which, was both quite a bummer and was an outright lie.
The National Federation of Federal Employees, the union representing Forest Service workers, is now suing. And coming up later in our show, we discuss how these firings are leading to an increase in safety concerns. Well, inflation isn't just an issue for consumers, it's also impacting the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department, and that could show up on a proposed bond for them. KREM 2's Cody Proctor breaks down what firefighters are asking for.
I'm at the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department Station 2, their busiest station in the city. Now, if the fire department gets their way, this station could get some much needed improvements, but they have to convince the Coeur d'Alene City Council first. It's always busy at Coeur d'Alene Fire Station 2. Out at the city's 4 fire stations, they get the most calls. Of the more than 10,000 calls last year,
they ran, approximately 40% of the calls came out of this station.
But this hive of activity needs some fixing, according to Coeur d'Alene Fire Department's Deputy Fire Marshal Craig Etherton.
Roof leaks, we've got our attic space is frozen in there, and so there's a bunch of heaters and stuff that are.
And it needs more room, especially if the department moves more staff to the building to have more people centrally located in the city.
When both of these units are in the house, it's a little crowded in here.
The station's one of the reasons why Coeur d'Alene Fire is asking the city council to put a proposed bond on the May ballot. Coeur d'Alene firefighters spoke to the city council Tuesday night to go over both the results of a recent community survey and the department's needs. Etherton says a proposed bond of $16.4 million would be at the top of the range, working out to about $17 per 100,000 of a property's value. The proposed bond could also replace some of the department's fleet of engines. Yet costs have gone up from inflation since the bond back in 2015.
It's quite a bit higher, but the costs to purchase the items that we need versus 10 years ago in our last bond have at least doubled.
However, Etherton says the money's needed for them to do the best job possible. If they don't get the bond, the fire department's problems don't go away.
If the bond doesn't pass, then the tough choices go back to council, right? Because we still need what we need.
Now, Tuesday night was just a presentation. Etherton says they hope that the city council will vote on this at their next city council meeting. That's in early March. If this makes it to the ballot, this bond needs 2/3 of the vote to pass. In Coeur d'Alene, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
A Spokane staple is closing its doors. Tonight, why Peking North is closing after 50 years.
Everybody's just going to get spread a lot more thin if the rescue rangers are removed from the table.
The safety concerns for visitors following the firing of National Park and Forest Service workers. More on that coming up next.